Okay, we're going to work on a solubility problem. The question says, how many grams of calcium carbonate can be dissolved in 250 milliliters of water at 25 degrees Celsius? And then we get the KSP at 25 degrees Celsius as 3.36 times 10 to the negative 9, and also the molar mass of calcium carbonate. So to go about solving this, first it helps to kind of figure out what it's asking for. Calcium carbonate is a solid that would break down into calcium and carbonate ions. Now we know that it's a not a very soluble solid because it has a KSP down to 10 to the negative 9, which means some of it will dissolve but not very much. We can also from this figure out that the KSP, not including the solid because it's K, would be the products times themselves because they each have a coefficient of 1. We don't have to square, cube, or do anything like that. All right, so the KSP would be equal to this. We have the KSP. But one thing we don't have is the concentrations here and here, but we know it's 1 to 1. So for every calcium, for example, we'd get 1 carbonate. So we can solve. So we can say that KSP, that 3.36 times 10 to the negative 9 is equal to some x times another x, or x squared. Then we can solve for x by simply taking the square root. And that tells us, or would give us 5.797 times 10 to the negative 5 mole per liter is equal to x. My dog's chewing up my sunglasses. He's cute though. All right, so he's forgiven. So we've got this many mole per liter, and that's equal to x. This is also, just to refresh our memories, it's also going to be equal to the calcium concentration or the carbonate concentration. Sorry, equal to. So that's cool. So now we know the calcium concentration, we know the carbonate concentration. We can figure a lot of information out from here. But this tells us the maximum amount that will dissolve. Well, if we know the maximum amount of the ion that will be present, we can figure out the maximum amount of this solid over here. So we can kind of work backwards. We can say, okay, we know that there are 5.797 times 10 to the negative 5 mole per liter. And the question is in 250 milliliters. In other words, 0.25 liters. We can figure out how many moles of calcium there would be. So we're taking 0.250 or 0.25 liters times 5.97 times 10 to the negative 5th mole per liter calcium. And our question is eventually trying to take us back to calcium carbonate. Well, for every 1 calcium, there had to have been 1 calcium carbonate. So we can kind of use a little stoichiometry here. We know a mole of calcium ion had to have come from a mole calcium carbonate. And now we're in mole town of calcium carbonate. We can say, okay, we know a mole calcium carbonate would have a mass of 100.09 grams because we're eventually trying to get to grams here. Once we've done that, we simply multiply this times that, divide it by 1, and we get an answer of 0.00145 grams. So, yep, hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, that it was worth my sunglasses. Darn it. Have a good one. Bye.